Hi, we are doing an unscheduled live. I just wanted to get on here really quickly to share a dream with you guys. Um, by the way, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Happy Sabbath. Um, anyway, I wanted to get on here and share just a really quick dream. I know that right now a lot of people are feeling a lot of pressure, a lot of movement, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of confusion, even. And I want to tell you about a dream that I had a couple of weeks ago. Um, so I know that a lot of times when something unexpected happens or when some type of a negative thing happens, we say, well, don't worry, this is going to work out for your good and something is going to happen because of this. And a lot of times that's true. I mean, that is true. That's true, although maybe not super helpful in the moment. And what I actually saw was there's a lot of people who have been experiencing this type of season before, right? So there's like a lot of things being taken away or uncertainty or things that you thought you had at one point that were for sure fixtures in your life. And and they suddenly like get moved or whatever, whether that's people or jobs or whatever it is for you. And so you've had this before where you're kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I know every time that this happens, it can feel like you're starting over and you're starting you're having to like build again, right? Like that the thing is completely gone and now you have to like completely like redo it. And so I want to share with you this dream. um, uh, a lot of times we get caught up in um, the patterns, which prohibits us from actually moving forward and doing something while in the midst of this kind of uncertainty or while things are being shaken, while things are being taken. And so in this dream I had was a very big foundation. And this is where a lot of people, I think, believe they are, right? My foundation is being built, or I'm learning how to grow stronger. And this is I'm going to bring this back to a lot of the things that I've been talking about with my clients this past week. Well, let me just share with you the dream first. So I saw this huge foundation, and actually, on that foundation was a mansion, a big, huge mansion that was already built. It was completed. And not only was it completed, the landscaping was already done outside of it. So this was a fully constructed, like livable house. And when you went inside, you wouldn't have known it until you got in there and started doing a tour of this house. There was a bathroom that was under construction, and the whole thing was unusable. It was totally being remodeled. It was all being ripped out. And in this dream, um, God actually spoke to me and said, "This is your life. This is what you are doing right now." A lot of people think that when they're shaking, when there's stuff being moved around in their life, when there's uncertainty, when things are not turning out how they anticipate them kind of turning out, they think, well, I'm starting over. I'm starting from the foundation. I need to build a better foundation. I need to learn how to do this or that, better or whatever. I encourage you to know yourself. I encourage you to get to know where you are in your life right now, because especially when you have gone through many of these seasons of having things shifted, of having to adjust and not have things work out according to, your plan or kind of the way that you thought that they would go, it isn't because that you're starting over. It's that you've been building consistently on top of that foundation. And what you're doing right now is that you're just remodeling a bathroom. But guess what? There's like 10 other in the house. You don't need that one at this moment. Let that one get remodeled for later. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're feeling like in this season, this there's so much uncertainty, or there's so much things coming up or coming against the plans that you had thought that you would be doing, or the vision that you had for your life at this time. Maybe last year you were dreaming about what you would be doing around Christmas time this year, or for the new year, or how far you would be, or whatever. Sometimes when we're doing renovations in our house, it takes longer than expected, but that doesn't mean that it was all worthless or that it was useless. It just means that something happened that delayed it. Simultaneously, it doesn't mean that the rest of the house isn't useful, right? We still have the entire thing. And like I said, in this dream that I had, the house had that not only was a house built, the outside was completely usable as well. So perspective is a beautiful thing. And I've done so many videos on perspective as well, and the power that's contained when you can shift what you're seeing and what you're looking at, right? When you have vision and not just sight, that's when things will start to shift in your life. And so I have some clients that I'm working with right now who I've been working with for a while. And while it can seem like I've already dealt with this issue, or I've already had to confront the narcissist on such and such an issue, it doesn't mean that you weren't successful the first time. It just means that you were building a different part of the house during that time. And the more that you build, the more skilled you get at it. And so when it comes to renovating something small, some smaller space, some not a huge project of starting like from scratch, of like building the foundation, laying the groundwork and building up from there, obviously you're more proficient at it. And so instead of looking at your situation of like, I have to start over, or I've already done this, or I'm building for nothing, actually shift your perspective to see what's actually going on here. You're probably just renovating a bathroom, in your life being this huge mansion, and there being so many other rooms that you can use in the meantime. So instead of having the mindset of like, I'm starting over, I have to, completely rebuild everything that has gotten taken from me, look at it as I'm doing an improvement in that one area of my life, but look at how much else I've already built. Obviously, I'm going to build that bathroom. Obviously, I'm going to do an incredible renovation there, and it's going to be exactly what I wanted, because I have the rest of my house that testifies to the fact that I've done this before. I'm getting better at my craft. I'm getting better at my skill, and I'm learning as I go through trials or shakings or whatever is going on, strippings in your life. You're actually growing from those things. And so yeah, I just feel like a lot of people are right now are stuck in this kind of mindset of like, well, I'm still at the bottom level, and I have a whole video on the manifold mind, which of course is the name of my company and why I named it that, and discussing about how to actually step into having a manifold mind. And anyway, in that video, I talk about what kind of, if you go into a skyscraper, but you stay on the first floor and you stay in the first room of the first floor, and it provides you a certain viewpoint, that's great. Okay, you're inside the building, but what use is the rest of the building? Why would it have so many floors with 365-degree views? What good is it if you're going to spend all of your life in that one room with that one perspective? And so if you feel like you are starting over, starting from nothing, having to rebuild again, going through this cycle of dreams not coming together exactly how you thought they would, or more disappointments or losses or whatever, I just really encourage you to get a different perspective on what's actually happening. Take a look and see if you haven't already renovated so many other rooms in the house that all that's left is this one, bathroom that nobody even uses anymore. And so, and it's going to become a usable space. So instead of thinking about starting at the foundation, really come to get to know yourself and who you are in this season. I know that as we grow, it can seem so small. Our growth can seem so small that we don't feel like we've grown any or changed any. But actually, I bet if you take a look back at where you started from, imagine looking at just a concrete slab of your house before it's constructed, right? You can obviously remember when you think about it that way, like, oh yeah, this used to be just nothing but concrete, and now look at it. I'm living in it. I'm making memories here. Do the same thing for your life. Growth can be so small and so incremental that we don't often take a look and see where we are. And so sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm still building, but we don't understand, like, hey, you're actually renovating this part that was built, but now you've grown so much that you need to expand or renovate the room that was sufficient for you before, but now it isn't. It's not a setback. In fact, it's an upgrade. So I just encourage you to, whoever's watching this video, to really get to know yourself in this season. Who you were yesterday isn't who you are today, and who you were last year isn't who you are today. And so it's really important that you do know where you are and where you are in your growth process, how far you've come, where you want to still go, who you need to bring around you during this season. All of those things, things that served a purpose for you for a little bit of your life. Maybe now you have to let go of. Maybe things that you would have previously not ever done, you need to start getting involved in that. Really take a look. It's the holidays. It's almost New Year's. Lots of people spend time doing this right now, right? Making New Year's resolutions and thinking about the past year and all of that kind of stuff. But this year, I encourage you to have a different perspective when you go into that. Instead of just saying, oh, I wish I had that, or I wish this was different, or I'd love to do, A, B, and C on my list this year. Instead of doing that, actually take a look and see what you're building, and look and see what needs to be there as you build. Maybe you're not on the ground floor like you think you are. Maybe it's not starting something. Maybe it's improving something. Maybe it's renovating something. Maybe it's fine-tuning something. It's just rearranging the furniture in the room, if you will. That you could have all of this stuff necessary. Hi, thanks for listening, you guys. Also, if you don't watch my lives, I'm pretty bad about responding to the comments like as it's happening, because I have to like do one thing at a time. I'm going to get to your comments in a second. So anyway, as you go through this process, which everybody does, and I hope everybody will do, I think it's really healthy to look and see how far you've come. I just hope you have the right perspective. I hope you have the right mindset when you look at things, because while it can feel the same, right? Because renovating a room can feel the same as like starting from nothing and building something from the ground up. They aren't the same. That's the fact of the matter, right? Do they both contain dust? Yes. Do they both contain workers and a little bit of disruption in your life? Yes. But they're much different, right? And so I hope that this season you will have the right perspective, you will have the right mindset when you're going into looking at who you are and what you need as you build into the future, as you build for and plan for your next year. Because if you think that you're at the foundation when really you have a huge mansion already established, you're going to go into it with the wrong mindset, and you're not going to have the right tools, whether that's connections or people around you, even being in the right spot physically to meet your goals, because you're looking at it from a completely different perspective, right? When I'm building a house, maybe I do need to have engineers who can help get me, city permits for water and electricity and all this stuff. But if the house is already built, I don't need those people necessarily, right, for the entire project of a renovation. And so that's my point here, is take a realistic look at who you are, at where you are, and at where you're going, and plan accordingly. Don't just keep doing the same things because this feels the same as a season in your past, or as a past experience, or because you haven't seen the final result that you were hoping for yet. So anyway, I hope that kind of helps you. You guys, if you came in at the end, go back and watch the replay as soon as I'm done here. I hope you guys are having a fantastic December, and I will do another live probably this week, at the end of this week, like Friday or something. So I will talk with you guys soon. Oh yes, the comments. Okay. Hello. Hi guys. Thank you for joining, and thanks for watching my impromptu live. And share this video if you know somebody who needs a little perspective change or perspective shift. And I hope that this really is encouraging to you, because oftentimes, what makes a covert narc? Is it somebody who has a victim mentality, or more to that? Yeah, no, it's way more than that. That is a video for a different day. Oh yeah, I wanted to say one more thing. I have a video already out called that I did probably a year ago, and it's called How to Meet Yourself. And so if you're unsure of like how to take an assessment of where you are right now, that video should be able to help you and really get to know where you are in life and who you are, right? Because if you don't have identity, you're not going to be able to fulfill your purpose. And so it's more important that you meet yourself and know yourself before you take an assessment of yourself. You know, that seems common sense, and yet there's a lot of people who don't know themselves, and they try to build themselves and fix themselves without actually knowing who they are or what to fix. And so, you know, first things first, do everything in order. And so please go check out that video if you need a little bit of help on how to know who you are, connect with yourself, and that kind of thing. The person who asked the covert narc question, I have a bunch of videos on covert narcissists on this channel already, but I'll do some more like basic teachings and stuff like that in the new year. You know, I'm taking December off from YouTube unless I just feel like I want to do a live. So I don't have scheduled videos coming out this month. But I will be back in the new year, and I will do one on that then. So you guys have a great Sunday. Please really take what I'm saying and like really think about it and see how it can apply to your life. Please share it if you know somebody who could benefit from it. And I will talk with you guys soon.